if I was going to eat something at night, I had to have it. I like something sweet. Sugar-free chocolate pudding, fat-free Fairlife, and a scoop of chocolate-flavored protein, all mixed up, huge bowl. You can eat so much that your stomach will be completely full of sugar-free chocolate pudding for about, give or take, 200 to 250 calories, and it will be almost all like that'll be like 35 grams of protein.
That sounds great. Maybe the next day I can wake up to my Buns of Steel workout and watch some Jane Fonda too. What the fuck is that?
At Mayo Experience.
Mr. Mayo, an anonymous young 25-year-old man comes up to you and says, you can tell me to do 3 things every day for the next 5 years to set myself up for success. And a similar amount of success to you, if you'd like to go there. Pat, I don't know if you define yourself as successful. I would. What 3 things would you tell a 25-year-old man to set himself up for success?
Oh boy,
it's a deep question. I didn't tell you what we were going to talk about before we started. But this was like one of those Twitter prompts of accounts that are really just trying to, I think, steal your personal information.
Sweet.
But this was going around, I don't know, 8 weeks ago. And I thought the answers were kind of interesting, and I've been thinking about it, but I'm curious, and I bet our answers would be very different, which again I think is pretty interesting.
Is it to set up the 25-year-old to be what I do, or just in general?
No, just in general, to live a profitable, healthy, successful, like you wake up in the morning, you like yourself, you like your life, you like your day.
Working out would be on that list, because I started working out pretty extensively around 24, 25, and it just made my quality of life so much better. Energy-wise, that I had energy to do things. I felt strong all the time. I felt motivated. And in the years before that, now maybe it was due to some other things that I was doing at the time too, but
could be.
I had no energy whatsoever. Like I would wake up and just feel like, I'd get home from work and be, just sit on the couch. Kind of like what I'm doing now at nighttime, but I'm also almost 41 years old at this point now. I'm just generally going to be tired. I think I do have good vigor for someone my age. Now that I'm old, Davis, I can use the word vigor when describing myself. But
it's true.
But it's twofold, right? So the other thing I would throw on that list is start investing, even if it's like with a little amount of money. Not so much that money is going to compound to make you financially secure by the time that you're 45. It's not. But I didn't start doing that until I was probably 31, 32, 33, somewhere around that range. And you have a lot of catching up and learning what you should actually be doing. I know that I recall you and Pete talking about how you had the standing order for buying Bitcoin every single week, like X percentage of, I don't know how that's working out for you like today, but if you'd been doing it over the past 10 years,
well, it's still working out pretty good, but I started at a very good time. It might be disappointing if someone started doing it a year ago, but come back to that person in 5 years and ask them if they think that was a good or bad decision. And that's the point.
And it doesn't need to be Bitcoin. It doesn't need, like, you can put it into an ETF or
do
have
a
some
freaking Vanguard ETF.
Yeah, just whatever it might be. Just throw it in the S&P or the Dow Jones, whatever it might be. But understanding that you're allocating a certain amount of money, even when you have no money. And I've been through points in my life, long stretches of having no money. I could have taken like, hey, every week I'm putting $10 away. Again, that $10 is insignificant, but almost like working out. Working out is a habit. And then you get into the habit of doing it, and it's something that you should be doing. And then even if you miss a day or two, like in your mind, it's not like, well, I'm never going to go back. In your mind, all of a sudden it becomes, man, I really need to get back. I'm not feeling as good as I used to. It's sort of like a drug in that way, but a good drug for you. I'm not advocating being at the gym for 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's actively bad for you. But trying to figure out that routine, almost like investing as well, because you're going to want to do it. And you should try to learn as early as possible what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, but starting that schedule. So there's 2 things. What would be the third thing? It could be something as easy as don't give a shit what anyone says about you, although I did that most of my life, and it was very unsuccessful for most of my life. Actually giving a little bit of a shit what people think about you could actually make you a more successful and nicer person. So maybe that's it.
Caring a little bit what people think of you.
Care a little bit about what people think about you. Think about, especially if you're like a highly snobby, judgmental person like myself, that think about how you think about people and just be one of the people you'd be like, that guy seems okay. Just try to be that guy and you'll be good.
I think all those are good. All of that is good advice. I would agree with all of it. I would tell all of that to a 25-year-old. So two things I would add on top of that, if I could go back.
Well, I only had 3. You only gave me 3. Now you're adding more.
Well, I would say one of these is certainly related, which is that one, if you were the type of person who just like cannot figure out working out, hates to run, hates to lift, doesn't know what you're doing, I would say the easiest thing you could do is just go outside and walk 3 miles a day. Get a dog if you need to. Go if you have a kid, throw your kid in the stroller, whatever it might be. I would say there's maybe no more plus EV habit than finding a way to walk while also, and this is the hard part, not being on your cell phone the entire time. I am no one look at me like I'm some kind of screen time guru. I'm certainly not, but I've been walking with my baby over the last couple weeks. It's been nice enough for us to go out, and because I have my baby in the stroller and I'm trying to like be aware of my surroundings, I'm not just craned down at my phone the whole time. And I already walk a lot, but it's so much better, right? I mean, it's just clear you feel better. It's just a better experience.
Absolutely. The problem is to walk 3 miles. That's what, an hour out of your day, give or take?
An hour, yeah.
And even when it comes to working out, that's very much the same thing too. Some people just simply do not have that kind of time to allocate every day to going for a 3-mile walk.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
Look, I mean, time. I think part of the going for the walk thing is actually just taking a second to be like, this is non-productive time. I'm allowing myself to have non-productive time in my day. I am escaping the tentacles of feeling like everything I have to do has to be working towards a further goal. And I am just going and doing something that is just like letting my mind relax and not be chopping into a larger goal. I think that's part of it. I mean, you can get the same result. You could meditate, you could do whatever, but I would say going for a walk do 20 minutes, go outside, leave your phone inside, go walk around your neighborhood for 20 minutes. I mean, not everyone lives in a walkable neighborhood. That's a plus EV thing, I would say, is if you can live in a walkable neighborhood. I live in a walkable neighborhood and I really don't want to move. Like I would hate even to generate more space to be in a nicer house. I would hate to no longer live in a walkable neighborhood, I think.
Are you in a subdivision or are you in the middle of the city?
I would be like in between the two of those things. Like I don't live in like the city, but I live in like I can walk to a grocery store. I can walk to go get a cup of coffee.
Okay.
But I'm not like in the city.
So I can walk from where I'm at to go to the grocery store as well, but I have to walk down a big hill 15 to 20 minutes. And there's absolutely no way I'm getting groceries and walking back up that hill for 20 minutes. It's just not happening. So
actually, just this morning, we were out of milk. I put the baby in the stroller and we took a walk and we walked to the store and we got milk, which is just like, it's just one of those really small things that like, I should not take that for granted because that was not always the case in my life. I lived in a lot of apartments. I lived in cities and that just like was not possible.
And I'm sort of the opposite. When we had our first kid, we lived in the middle of the city, and that's exactly what I would do. I'd walk down to the corner with the baby in the stroller, put him on me, do whatever, and go get some milk. It'd be like a 5-minute walk one way, but on like flat ground that makes it a little bit easier. Like trying to lug stuff up like a half-mile hill is just, it's not where you want to be at midday. You get home and you're like, whoa, I'm exhausted now.
And one other, if I was to add one to that list, if I could again go back and cultivate this a little bit more to my younger self, it would just be like have a hobby that is not online or on a screen. If you can, just whatever that might be, just no screens. You're not trying to make money off this hobby. This isn't like collecting sports cards or whatever. Like it's a hobby that is not on the internet and not for profit.
Funny you mentioned that. I had this discussion with my wife the other day because now that football is over, I'm in full-time golf mode. But for about 4 or 5 weeks, both were going on concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning I was very, very busy throughout the course of the week doing full-time football, full-time golf. And when one of those things gets taken away, you're left with far more time than you're used to. And I looked at her, I was like, I have no hobbies that aren't my job anymore. The only hobby I have that isn't my job is playing golf during the
Is playing
summertime.
golf.
Unfortunately, where I live at the moment, not a
Can't.
lot of availability to go hit the links. So I need to start developing a hobby. And I don't want it to be going to the gym. I go to the gym anyway. That's baked into a part of my day. I consider that, although it's
Correct.
not really a part of my job, it is a part of my job to look non-sloppy on camera is a part of my job. I've always felt that way about being a broadcaster. Some people don't believe in that. I believe in that. And I think that, it gives you that energy that I talked about. It makes you look better. You feel better in front of a camera. You're going to perform better in front of a camera. At least for me. That's very personal to me. But what are hobbies I can have? I started reading. I've read 3 books in January. I hadn't read a book in 8 years.
I mean, that reading that is what I consider to be, I mean, if we're going to be really honest about it, that's what I consider to be like the correct hobby. Like if someone were to ask me like, what would be the hobby you should pick up? What would I consider to be like good for your brain, good for you, good for your ethics, good for your morals, good for your character, whatever, I would say reading. But there are plenty of other things you can do that are not reading and not for profit. I mean, I would assume a lot of them would be good for moving your body. You could be I mean, if you could play, I don't like this, but you could do pickleball. You could do tennis. You could play pickup basketball.
But I can't though. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these things are not available to me, especially being in the wintertime. I'd have to find a rec league to go join. But I have 2 kids. My wife and I are having another kid in about 3 weeks. I mean, most of my night times now are bringing them to gymnastics, basketball, indoor soccer. It's me going to things with them. I don't have time to go play pickup basketball. By the time 10 p.m. comes around, I'm in bed. I'm not going.
I mean, I would say obviously the math on this changes when you have children, and the math on it changes even more when you have multiple children. Like, and I'm experiencing this hardcore. For
All the shit you used to
life.
talk, by the way, about, you can go do this, you can go do this. How are you doing stuff these days?
I still work out every day. I
Okay.
still read every day. I still walk every day. I'm just integrating the kid into that. I would say, actually, you want to know the thing that has been chopped out has been going to the range, where it was yesterday in the Midwest. It was really nice. The sun was out. The sun was shining. So the way my wife and I are delegating it right now is I'm with the kid in the morning from like 6 a.m. to like noon, because she goes to work and then she comes home and then we swap off. She takes the kid and I go down, and because I don't need to work an 8-hour work day most of the time. And I got done at like 5 or 6. It's like, well, I could go hit some balls, but like I'm cooked, man. I'm not gonna go do that. Well, and you don't have a dog, so that, I guess, yeah, you could maybe kind of include that. Like I take my dog running, I take my dog to the dog park, we go on hikes. Like that's
You don't need to have a dog though.
No, you don't need to. I enjoy it. I've always loved dogs. Like I mean, I don't know if I would say having a dog is a hobby, but like it is a fun thing to do, and it's nice, and it gets you outside, because like the dog is gonna be like, bro, I want to go outside. Like, come on, like we don't need to sit around in bed rot and watch short form vertical video. Actually, there you go. There's my number one. You want to know my true number one advice to anyone? Don't have Instagram, don't have TikTok, don't have any vertical video software viewing capabilities on your cell phone. Just do not engage.
X just went over to vertical videos that look really weird on the app.
Yeah, I mean, just don't do it. And honestly, for me, like if it becomes a problem where like I find myself one night and I just watch 30 minutes of vertical video, like I'll delete the app off my phone, because I don't have Instagram on. Yeah.
I deleted Reddit off my phone about
Same.
a month ago.
Yeah.
It was the only app that I was using a ton. Like I just get bored and be like, what's this topic I want to hear too much about? And just, it's not that it was actively making me dumber, but it was.
No, the thing that is insidious about having Reddit on your phone is you can just lie to yourself enough that it is productive, that you're learning something. Like, oh, look at the Twin Peaks Reddit. Oh, the whatever it's like, oh, like I'm so much better than someone who's on Instagram Reels because I'm on Reddit and I'm learning. But you're not. You're lying to yourself. You're lying. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't have it on my phone either.
Instagram's a good app for me, though. I feel like I have the best case usage of Instagram. It's sharing awful memes with my awful friends, like once every 5 days. Like I log back in, it's like, oh, perfect. Like, look at this nonsense. I hope no one ever sees this. This is hilarious. And two, I get all of my workout vids from Instagram because shockingly enough, once again, I have developed tennis elbow from going to the simulator far
You
too
know,
often.
I've had horrible tennis elbow that I actually have just rehabbed myself out from. But it was like I actually couldn't lift for like a month.
Well, that's the thing. So I've been off of lifting for probably about 2 weeks now, and it's my own fault for going. You want to hear here's how it happened. I'm not a very good morning person. Despite the fact that I have kids that wake up at 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., I get up with them. I've started to go to bed earlier. It's getting a little bit better, but I've tried to cut out a lot of coffee as well. I've been drinking more tea. I'll have my 1 cup of coffee in the morning. Like I'm not drinking 5 quadruple Americanos a day anymore. So my gut health is doing a lot better. And I'm not crashing out midday anymore. But I'm just not a morning person. It's not good. But I did schedule a very early sim session with my golf coach. And I got there earlier than him. So I went in, there's no one else there. And I'm like I'm still half asleep. It was before the kids were going to wake up. And I started warming up and I probably chunked like 8 in a row and my wrist started to hurt. And you know what happens when you chunk you chunk a shot, like hit it really fat at a simulator, like you're hitting into concrete.
You're hitting
essentially.
Into
and I just kept doing this.
And it really hurts.
I just kept doing it repeatedly. And I'm like, it was just so early, like I can't swing. I thought I had a 7-iron in my hands, and I was so out of it, I had a 4-iron in my hands. So the club is like that much longer. So I just started beating it into the ground. And since that day, like my elbow is absolutely cooked. My forearm's cooked. My wrist actually isn't all that bad, but I just know from last time, like I know how to get over this. I know how to rehab it. And the thing that I didn't do enough last time was give it the proper rest. I went back and like started to try to do bench press 4 days later or arm curls. Like you just can't do it if you want to get better. You have to bite the bullet.
I was able to bench through the pain, but I had to give up curls entirely. I haven't
just
done a
given
bicep
up
curl in weeks.
I've given up anything lifting, especially with my left arm. Like I'm just making sure that nothing weighty gets onto. I'm doing the bar to like strengthen that way, wrist flexion that way, like stretching this way, and like little weights going up and down, all the things that you're supposed to do, but
the soup cans.
Yeah, the soup cans this way and then this way to make sure that everything's going to be okay.
5-pound weight, rotate left, rotate right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I haven't touched a weight that's over 10 pounds. I'm like, well, I'm going to lose muscle like this, but let me try to figure out a way that I can still work out every single day because I can't even do push-ups right now. So like I'm losing strength that way. So I can still do leg workouts. I can still do core workouts. So I've started to do like more calisthenics. And I found that Instagram videos are very good for that. Like here is a 10-pound kettlebell that you can use to do these different calisthenics, be it core, be it like some mixed cardio, HIIT cardio, without like having to really put any pressure on my left elbow or my left forearm. And I've been kind of enjoying that. And Instagram videos are very good for that specifically for me. I don't watch them outside of that.
For me, I mean, I agree with you. The trade-off for me is just not worth it. Like you probably not. This is a very insidious reference, but have you ever read any Kurt Vonnegut novels?
No, absolutely not, Davis.
All right. Well,
I was too busy having sex with women.
So in his novel, Cat's Cradle, there is this, I mean, basically it's like a device. It's called Ice 9. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of Star Trek, and you like Star Trek, you'd be into this, but basically like when it gets on something, it takes over the entire surface and atmosphere. Anything comes in contact turns into ice and freezes and melts and goes away forever. For me, vertical video is like that. It's like if it gets its hooks in me, all of a sudden I'm just like a mindless stupor bot, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Because I mean, if you think about it, I saw this the other day. There's like, you are basically David versus Goliath every time you pick up your phone. There's been $1 trillion spent from the smartest people on earth at every company on earth to try and keep you as locked into that phone and consuming as possible. And every time you set your phone down and you're not looking at it and you're doing something else, you are beating, the smartest people on earth who are trying to keep you locked in to that machine.
I've had a lot of success, especially over football season, of making a conscious effort to not be on my phone as much as I was, because I, like everyone else, am on it all the time. Although the thing that I don't realize, and maybe this is something personal to them, and it's not just me, because I hear it from a ton of people, but when someone texts me, I generally text them right back because I get the message because I'm on my fucking phone all the time. I see the text come through.
Sure.
I see people with phones in their hand that I know, and they will not text people back for like hours on end. What is going on?
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't do that. If you text me and I see it, I'm going to respond to you right away because I'm probably going to see it because I'm probably on my phone. I mean, I'm sure you have experienced this, though, that it's kind of nice having kids. You are on your phone a little bit less because there are like actually consequences for being on your phone, which is kind of nice.
Until they start like actually being old enough that like they're doing stuff and you're just like, yeah,
Right.
you just, like, it's such a break. It's like you just go do stuff. Like
Just
go
go
run
do
around.
stuff. Yeah, go. Yeah, please do anything. Go jump off that. That's good. Yeah, can't wait.
But additionally, since golf has started again, I'm on my phone all the time because I'm
All the
tracking
time.
hole by hole. You know how that goes.
Yeah, so Missouri is now legal sports betting starting in December. So
I was there in December for the launch of it.
You were. I just had my kid. So this is the first time I've been able to like line shop for golf. Like basically, like before I'd have offshores, I'd have this, I'd have that, or I could text my friends in Kansas to bet for me or whatever if I really wanted something. But now I can pull up every sports book that exists, and I can get the best line on Hideki Matsuyama if I want it. So it's been the most I've ever been locked in to betting on golf. Now we don't need to go too inside of golf, but I had Minwoo last week and I had Hideki in Phoenix. So I'm like, maybe I don't need to bet golf. Like maybe if that's just what it's going to be for me every week, and I'm just going to have the guy who gets his gut ripped out on 18, maybe I just don't need it. Maybe I just could do something else instead.
Oh, I've had the second place finisher in 4 of 5 events with no winners so far this year. So I've started to bet the top 3 each way bets on Bet365. So I still will make a significant amount of money now if they do come in second. So now I'll just keep betting guys that come in 4th or something. So that's how golf betting works. I caught your show with Nerdy the other day talking about golf. It's hilarious that like you don't even have like the basic facts about golf down yet.
No.
You're talking about a cut line, you get the cut line wrong. Like, it was awesome.
Well, there is a little mini cut.
There is, but you did not have it correct.
Well, whatever. I mean, immaterial.
Well, I feel like that's pertinent information.
It's all caught in the programming. That's not up to me. Whatever exists in the code, that is not up to me. Trust me. No one at runthesims.com wants me touching any code anywhere. I can
but you're not doing that. You're doing the content about it. At least if you're doing the content, get the fucking cut line right.
What is the cut? Is it like 6 dudes?
No, it's top 50 in ties. You said it was top 52, which is not a cut anywhere in the world.
I'm sure there's no way I said top 52.
Go back and watch. Go back.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did. All right, off by a factor of 2. Okay, another thing.
It wasn't a factor of 2. It was just off by 2.
True. I guess a factor of very little. Factor of 0.1.
A well-built wardrobe isn't about having more clothes. It's about having the right pieces that actually work together and hold up over time. And that's why Wince does it the best. So expect to see some new looks on the show in the not-too-distant future. Wince has everyday essentials I love, with quality that lasts, organic cotton sweaters, a lightweight or spring jackets, and higher-end long-sleeve tees that are monochromatic, the Pat Mayo staple. It's all designed to be easy to wear and easy to rely on. They work directly with top factories and cut out the middleman, so you're not paying for brand markup, just quality clothing that's built to handle daily wear and still look good season after season. The coat I picked up is holding up way better than the other coats that I bought that cost way more. It's stylish, it keeps me warm, it didn't break the bank. Refresh your wardrobe with Wince. Go to wince.com/mayo for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/mayo. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Wince.com/mayo. Using a VPN is like wearing pants online. All your activity is encrypted and private, hidden from trackers, snoopers, and data brokers. That is why you need Surfshark. Surfshark can help you avoid dynamic pricing by connecting to cheaper locations to save money on everything from flight tickets to hotel bookings. You can change your virtual location to safely stream content from home or unlock regional shows and movies that might be restricted in your current country. With Surfshark, fast connection speeds are guaranteed across their extensive network of servers in 100+ countries. And the Clean Web ad blocker is an efficient feature that blocks annoying ad trackers and malware before they even load, resulting in a faster, cleaner, and safer browsing experience. Secure your privacy with Surfshark. It's completely risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Right now, go to surfshark.com/PatMayo and use my code, PatMayo, for 4 extra months at checkout. That link and code are in the show notes and description. I'm currently 4 months off cigs, and cravings aren't just about nicotine. They're about habit. The hand-to-mouth motion, that quick pause during the day and when you're trying to quit, it's breaking that loop that's the hardest part. That's why people replace smoking with eating, something of which I am very guilty of. That's where Fume comes in. Not only is Fume spelled with an umlaut, which is awesome, Fume is a flavored air device designed to help you ditch vaping or smoking by replacing the habit itself. No nicotine, no batteries, no vapor, just a weighted, twisty, fidget-friendly device that gives your hands and mouth something to do when the cravings hit. I've had these moments where I just normally reach for a cig. Instead, I just grab my Fume to fidget with. That interruption is exactly why it works. The flavors are lighter too. Think like flavored water versus soda. Crisp mint, strongest if you're a heavy user. Raspberry, got some more of that tangy sweetness. It's quite nice. Fume has already helped over 700,000 people take steps towards better habits. And now, it's your turn. Use my code MAYO to get a free gift with your Journey Pack. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and use code MAYO to claim your free gift today.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is prediction markets, because if you spend a ton of time on the internet, as we do, very similar to crypto, very similar to NFTs, very similar to AI, you'll get all kinds of people telling you prediction markets are going to be the next big thing. This is taking over everywhere. You know, Kalshi's everywhere, Polymarket's everywhere, whatever. I tend to have a very different opinion of this because to me, it feels like the bread and butter of these retail sports books, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever, is same game parlays. And the way it exists right now is you can't really do that on these prediction markets. What say you?
I mean, we can't use them in Canada. Like they're not.
I've used them. I've placed one wager. I did some election betting on Polymarket, and that was it.
You can bet on elections just at sports books here. So they have a very unfair advantage right now over your traditional play. It's funny that we consider Underdog, DraftKings, FanDuel, we consider this all to be traditional sports betting now, even if it's in different ways, like fantasy props versus straight bets, same game parlays, whatever it might be. Is like look at the rake on these. There's basically no rake on each of these bets. I mean, if I had access to the prediction markets, this is likely where I would be betting the most right now, only because like they're not subject to taxation like the other sports books are. Now, and that's not to say that the other sports books wouldn't charge you 15 cents on each side of a spread or 10 cents on each side of a spread if there was like a lower tax rate in Illinois or New York or something like that. All prediction markets seem to be doing is just circumventing the gambling laws.
Yeah, I mean that's
like what they exist to do.
It's very clearly what it is. Now they're not going to get punished for it though.
Well, they're not going to get punished during this presidential term. Next presidential term, maybe.
You know what? I mean, first off, crime is clearly legal now, so like I don't blame anyone for trying a crime, financial crime. But I think you're going to run into a thing where next president, whoever that may be, there's going to be so much shit to deal with. How high up can Kalshi and Polymarket possibly be?
I don't know, because if I was the traditional sports book, like this is why I paid the lobby. So they got screwed in, what was it, 2014, 2016? When did DFS get banned in New York by Schneiderman?
2016, I think. Maybe a little bit before that.
Yeah, it was like March of that year, whenever that was. That's when DK and FanDuel just lobbied up. Like they just hired a bunch of lobbyists. that if I was a lobbyist for these places, I would be fucking furious that I had to go
2015.
through state level registration and negotiate all these different tax rates and spend all my money. And these guys come and be like, it's not gambling, it's trading.
So I think what will ultimately happen, though, is very similar to what happened with pick'em games, where the big operators will just co-opt. You know, DraftKings launched Pick Six as a competitor for Underdog, and I believe there's a DraftKings Predict something, and
There is,
Underdog,
and there's the underdog prediction market as well. But
Yeah.
obviously, that's not they run the risk that when you think about these companies, that's not what you think that they do, and that's an inherent disadvantage in this market right now.
Sure. I would say if I was a betting man, if I could purchase a contract on Polymarket or wherever to do this, I would be on the side of it not ever being banned. And like many other, you know, this is a classic thing. Actually, if you look all throughout the United States of America's history of businesses, a lot of our biggest businesses started in a very gray area and then got too big too quickly to be outright banned, and then you got all kinds of like special wedged in protections and things like that.
Oh, prediction markets really are no different than Uber and Lyft or Airbnb and Vrbo and all of these different disruptive type of apps that have come along that have recalculated an entire industry. I just think that they'll end up being regulated now. Like they're essentially unregulated at the moment, like the regulation that they go through. When I say like this presidential term, I think like one of the Trumps is on the board of like all of these places.
No, both. Yeah, but he on both.
Like they're just so like they're making bank on this. It ain't going nowhere.
I can't remember if it's the cokehead kid or the one that because Donald hates one of them, and I do not remember which is which. So.
I believe Don hates Eric, and Don Jr. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to hang out with him. He kind of seems like he'd be a decent hang.
Yeah. I don't know which is which, but yes. So anytime you can get the like, I mean, this, you know what, this maybe is actually even better advice. If we can go back to the beginning, here's a great advice you can set up for your life. Always align yourself with the incentives of the elites, if possible. If you can figure out what the oligarchy wants and you can align your own life's interest with that, that will keep you shielded and protected for a long time in your life. If that's your goal. Now, maybe your goal is to fight the oligarchy and to impact change. You know, go good for you as well. But if you're just a normal guy trying to live a normal life and you can align your interests with the big club that you aren't in, that's pretty good advice, I think.
Didn't realize you were going full Che Guevara Mattek today.
I don't think that's Che Guevara. I wasn't telling you to take down. I wasn't telling you to go, blow up storefronts or whatever. I was saying like if you can figure out what the richest people on earth are gonna like do to manipulate prices of assets and things, like yeah, you should definitely. I mean, right? I mean, we all know that, right? Like the number one.
You're not breaking news here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we all know this. Like, the number one commandment of Western governments is to make the number go up. So that is why investing is good advice. I
am sweating in this office. You want to hear something awful?
Mm-hmm.
We started renovations of our first floor of our house on January 4th. It is still ongoing. So we don't have access to our kitchen, completely new kitchen, living room, that's completely gone. It's still under construction. We don't have our kitchen back yet. So it's been 7 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it's been, without a kitchen right now. But they had to go in because we have a new island being put in. So they had to go into the basement and do some wiring through the ceiling and put in this new electrical box. And they did that, but it's by the thermostat for the basement where this office is right now, like where we're going to watch TV, to wash dishes. Good Lord. We've been cooking off like one of those like single hot plates for 6 weeks at this point and trying to make it work. But for about 10 days during the 10 coldest days of the year, whatever they did to the system knocked out all of the heat in the basement. It would not turn on. So it was frigid down here. I couldn't really come down into the basement because it was so cold. And now all of a sudden, after those 10 days, like for the past 14 days, now the heat can't be turned off in the basement. So it's at max heat at all times. And the windows are just open down here now, just to give a little semblance of cold coming in. But where I'm in this room, it has a window, but everything is blocked for soundproofing. And just every time I come in here for more than 15 minutes now, I'm just drenched in sweat. That's my life. You see how hard my life is, Davis? This is awful. No one has it harder than me.
I was going to say, we kind of have the reverse issue where I am also in a basement, but it's always cold down here because this is an unfinished basement. So it's always about 5 degrees colder than it is upstairs. So if it is an unseasonably cold day, it just went from 75 degrees yesterday to 40 degrees and raining outside today. So I'm actually freezing down here in my little basement.
Sucks. This entire renovation was supposed to be done tomorrow. That was like the drop dead date. And like there's no one, it's not even close to being done at this point. No one's been here for 5 days. Oh, there's delays on this. There's delays on that. And shockingly enough, they're coming back tomorrow to start work again after I stop paying them. Shocker on that one.
Are Canadian contractors as notoriously unreliable and
yes.
I was trying to think. Criminal wouldn't be the word, but just they're just kind of hanging around. I don't know. Sketchy, maybe. I don't even know if you'd say it, because you kind of know what you're getting into with a contractor, more or less.
Yeah, you're getting ripped off to an extent. It's not work that I can do. It's not work my wife can do. And now she's 8.5 months pregnant. And she's more handy than me anyway around the house. So it's like, hey, we're going to bite the bullet. We're going to do this. We waited until after Christmas and everyone was here. It's like, but this got to be done before the baby comes, because like, what the fuck are we going to do?
Because we're running out of space.
We have no kitchen.
Yeah.
We're now using paper plates and like plastic cups because my wife at first was like, well, we can just do all the dishes in the basement, in the boiler room, in this like fucking little sink. So I've been doing those and it sucks. And now we just have a back pile. I was like, I don't care about the environment at this point. Let's just get the disposable plates. It'll save us a ton of stress. So we've actually been doing that. It's been a little bit better, although it's not super fun to eat off a styrofoam plate.
Not super fun to eat off a styrofoam plate. No, I can't imagine that's a situation that you are particularly trying to be in. How, as a Canadian, do you handle the Olympics? Because I would assume that the Canadian Winter Olympics team is much better than the Summer Olympics grouping. Although I'm sure you guys get absolutely mogged by the Americans and everything other than hockey.
Yes and no. It depends on the year, really. Like sometimes you have those generations of like everything kind of aligns and all like the weirdo sports. Like Canada, for whatever reason, isn't very good at skiing. Although you think that Canada would be great.
I was going to say that makes no sense to me.
It's just not prioritized here. It's skiing in Canada is like golf in Canada. It really is like a country club type of thing. And like normal people have access to it because there's so many mountains, but it's very casual, I suppose. It's not really country club, but casual. Whereas in Norway, it seems like it's like the predominant sport where you get those in Nordic countries as well. Like those are the sports that people really pay attention to. It's more casual for people here. But I always just found that to be really weird with the amount of mountains and the amount of snow, especially in the northern part of the country. But no one, I guess, really lives up there. We do better at like moguls and aerials, and all those people are from Quebec for whatever reason. It doesn't seem like there's any of these tracks or anyone even participates in these sports outside of Quebec. But in the Vancouver Olympics 2010, Canada won the Olympics. They won the most gold medals of anyone. So there was a big push to really fund everything.
One of the Nordic countries, and I don't want to say which one it is because I'll get it wrong, but one of those Scandi countries did like a full, like, we are going to start this as our program. We are going to pay kids from a very young age. We're going to build all these resources. I should Google it right now.
Well, it's probably Norway because they're winning the Olympics again.
I believe it is Norway, where they were like, we don't care if we have this small population, we have all these advantages, but like they're gonna sink a bunch of public money into it, which I mean, it's kind of cool, right? Actually,
well, Norway is in a very advantageous position because they do not have a large population, and the government and country itself owns all the oil reserves that are in Norway as well. So they actually have a ton of public money to spend, honestly.
Right. Well, shout out to them. I mean, is the experience you have watching Canada hockey very similar to Americans watching the men's basketball team, where it's like every time you give up a goal, it's embarrassing, where it's like we should be so much better at everyone than this in the world. I don't know why American men's hockey has actually always brought out my inner patriot. I've always really liked rooting for the American men's hockey
I can tell you
team.
why.
Because it's the only thing we're not the best at.
Yeah, because all of the Americans probably have the second best team in the world right now. They're a perpetual underdog versus Canada. Canada, I mean, it's not so much like basketball for the Americans. The Americans really should be way better than everyone else at basketball.
No, 100%. It's like, it is embarrassing that, like, I mean, they were trailing against South Sudan in
They lost to Canada in the FIBA bronze medal game.
Well, okay.
Shea went nuclear on them.
Canada, I was going to say, Canada actually is pretty good at men's basketball, but still embarrassing. Still extremely embarrassing.
That gap has closed more in the past 20 years, probably than any other sport between the States and the rest of the world in terms of basketball. Canada is the best country at hockey in the world, but Canada isn't way better than everyone at hockey at the same time. Like, there's not a huge gap between, like, I think Canada plays Slovakia in the semifinals. Like, they almost just lost to the Czech Republic. They could lose to Slovakia. They lost to Switzerland in the Olympics before. Like, hockey, unlike basketball, I guess in a one-off, anything can happen. We see that in the tournament every year, but hockey's weird, man. Like, a hot goalie can just beat you.
Oh, I mean, and will, right?
It would be like,
all the time.
Put it this way. I think the better comparison, it's not basketball, because Canadians expect Canada to win, but you know that they're not always just going to win every single gold medal. But it would be like going into the World Baseball Classic and just assuming that the U.S. is going to win because they're the best baseball country. They are the best baseball country, but there's like 6 countries that could win.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if the U.S. loses to Japan, it's like, yeah, okay. If they lost to the Dominican Republic, like, would you be super stunned in baseball? And especially in a one-off baseball game, it's like, I mean, these players don't play for these countries anymore, but like, if you got to the gold medal game and you had to play Dominican Republic, and then Pedro threw a one-hitter against the States, like, oh, well, we couldn't win.
Right. Yeah.
It's sort of like that in hockey. Like, you run into a hot goalie or some sort of system that you don't see, it's 60 minutes. Like, it's just over. That rarely happens in basketball.
I mean, speaking of single elimination tournaments that that we actually all have an invested interest in, because Canada and the United States are joint hosting this. Are you excited about the World Cup? Are you going to do any content for the World Cup? Are you going to go to any of the games? No. Where are you at with that?
I'll probably do like a preview for the tournament. Like, hey, here's who you should bet on. I'll watch it. I like watching the World Cup. It's fun. There's zero chance I go to any of these games.
Why? Just too far away?
I don't like soccer very much, so that's one. I guess there would be an event, but the ticket prices are ludicrous. And I already flew up to Toronto to go to game 1 of the World Series. So that was my budget for the next 5 years, blowing it on $6,000 tickets.
Well, okay. So this is kind of funny. I live 3 hours away from basically the least desirable stadium to go to in these games. It's the furthest away from everything because they're doing one of the group stages in Kansas City. So I will probably be able to go to one of the games. Like, I will probably actually get to go see Argentina play for, like, I mean, not cheap, maybe like $700 to get in, but like $700 to get in compared to like the New York games. The New York games are going to be like $3,000 get in.
Where is it's going to be more than that. They were already selling tickets because Italy is playing in Toronto. I think outside of New York, Toronto has the highest Italian population in North America by a pretty large sum.
I totally believe.
And like tickets for that game are like $10,000 right now.
Yeah.
And they don't even know if Italy's in yet or not, but people are buying the tickets in anticipation that Italy's going to like win that play-in to be in that group that's in Toronto.
Yeah, I got some bad news on that one because they do not have a super easy path in.
Well, who do they have to play?
They have a playoff against, I want to say, Wales. I honestly do not remember exactly who the playoff is against, but it's because, it's basically all the European teams now in soccer are too good that even like the shittiest European qualified team, like North Macedonia, is honestly like a fine soccer team. Like North Macedonia would give the United States a game. We'd be favored, but they'd give us a game.
They're like, there's a lot of good training programs and Scoogie.
I honestly, to me, what it seems like is some of these nations like Iceland or whatever, they just, for like 10 years, they just build a bunch of youth development places and put a lot of not maybe even relatively not that much money into it, but just some money into it. And then another thing that will happen is you'll get a new like director of football at one of these countries, and they will start finding, the diaspora, basically start hunting down like emigres and where did grandparents move, and oh, did your great granddad live in Northern Ireland at any time? And then, well, I mean, this is a whole other thing, but then it gets super racist where some countries are like, no, we don't want these immigrants from. A big one is the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. They basically like import like.
You say, do you really say Arab, not Arab? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think that's just the Midwestern way to say the long, like we do the long A.
Interesting.
I don't, it's not conscious, but I think that is just when you're from the Midwest, that's how you make an AR sound.
So like when you talk about the Arab world, you say the Arab world, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I would say Arabian. Yeah, I don't know. I've never thought about it at all. But it's not me being obtuse or racist. That would just be kind of how I would say
I don't
that
know.
word.
Sounds kind of racist, Davis. Have you looked in the mirror?
I'm about to say something even crazier, which
Okay.
is so in the UAE and some of these other oil producing nations, the OPEC nations, they'll have the club soccer teams bring in like 50 Brazilian youth soccer players and have them sign contracts with the club teams to naturalize them, to make these Brazilian, Argentinian, Colombian teenagers like Emirati citizens.
Yeah, I mean that makes total sense to me.
It makes total sense, but it's crazy. Like you go look and like, why is there some guy named Kevin, some guy named Kevinho, some guy named Ronaldinho? Why are these guys all playing for the UAE team? And you're like, oh, I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, you just take there was always a theory for years that in the Olympics, if Canada submitted 3 teams, that all 3 of those teams would do really well, even if you had the third tier of Canadian hockey, that it would be slightly below the level of the other countries that are around Canada. But the depth of hockey in this country is just so huge versus some of the other countries, where if you could just go sign like the second tier Brazil team and make them Team Canada would be way better in soccer.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I mean, I'm sure, I guess I don't know what the Canadian diaspora is like. Probably all the new world countries are actually at a huge disadvantage there because there's just not paths of immigration set up.
Well, I mean, Canada's gotten exponentially better at soccer over the past 20 years. Like we actually we qualified for a World Cup. It was the first time in 40 years that happened. And Canada scored a goal. That was nuts.
They got skunked though.
What's that?
They lost. When they lose one game 6-0 against Portugal?
I think that was against Croatia.
They have a Portuguese midfielder. His name is Stefan Estaquiao. I don't. There you go. There's more poor pronunciations for me.
Me talking about, but this happened for years in like Canadian Olympics during the Summer Olympics, that all of the best Canadian sprinters ever, all just like naturally born in Jamaica who immigrated to Canada. Like Donovan Bailey, I'm pretty sure was from Jamaica, and then he broke the world record as a Canadian. So this isn't new to countries.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is a big.
Like think about Algeria and France. Isn't Henri from wasn't he originally from Algeria?
Oh well, this is. I mean, you don't even know the hornet's nest you just kicked. This is actually a huge thing in French football. Because France is kind of undergoing its own move to the far right now, and so there's this new movement of like, we don't, and obviously France cares so much about their football team. It's like one of the big things they have as a nation. There's this new movement to no longer recruit players from the African diaspora anymore. Like we don't want Algerians, we don't want Moroccans, we don't want Nigerians. Like we keep these people away from the national team, which is kind of interesting.
Thierry Henry was born in Guadeloupe. Interesting. His mom's from Martinique, so he's West Indies.
Indies. You find all kinds of cool stuff like that when you start researching soccer. Like something I didn't realize until very recently is actually due to the flows of immigration. There's a relatively sizable list of guys who are really high level elite soccer players who could play for the Nigerian national team because I guess I don't really know the historical reasons. I guess a bunch of colonialism reasons, and then it flows backwards. But like, some of the best guys' names are like Bukayo and things like that, like very non-English names. And of course, there is a portion of the population then of Great Britain who's like, we don't want these guys on our team. Which again, I just always find kind of interesting. It's like, who gets to decide who's an American or whatever?
Well, I mean, I suppose there would be rules behind that of who is eligible to play and who isn't eligible.
And
to
obviously,
play.
the rules for sport
And listen,
are pretty
if I'm the
loose.
American team, I'm like, yeah, if you're any good, you can be on the American soccer
I mean,
team.
don't, dude. I mean, we need to go harder. Somehow, the Americans need to go harder on like your great granddad once was on Ellis Island or once visited New York. Like, please. I mean, this has been we've talked about this a ton, but this is one of my biggest bugaboos in world sports. Just like every American should wear like the scarlet letter of us not being an elite soccer nation.
See, this is your like soy boy liking sports type take. You know what's a more American pride? Being bad at soccer. That's good. Suck at soccer. Soccer sucks.
I think
know
that,
you do. You seem like someone who would be very comfortable.
Well, here's the thing. I think American pride.
Nice.
I think American pride should just not accept being bad at something that everyone in the world cares about.
Yeah,
I think that.
But the thing is, America doesn't care about it.
Well, what would be most American would be to easily be the best soccer nation and not give a shit about it. Would be for us to easily be the best and then to just be like,
yeah. But that opportunity has never arose. It's just not happening. America's just not that good at soccer.
And we should be. We should be.
Why should you be? It seems like the disjointed nature about how like youth sports work in America seems like really antithetical to how to be good at soccer when you see these other nations and the training academies that they have. Like, are you guys taking kids out of school at the age of 8 and making them professional soccer players? No.
That's the thing is, I think it started to drift more in that direction. I think there actually are a lot of opportunities for like that because that exists for basketball here. There are a lot of specific like sports-based academies for basketball here.
Do you think that's helpful or do you think that hurts? Taking, especially for, I can see, because this happens here for hockey around like age 14-ish. Maybe there are some younger ones, like actual academies, but you still like go do, but like you can still do whatever you want, but you do focus on hockey when you're there. But there are certain places, like once you get to a certain age, you go off to boarding school and you play hockey that trains you to play in the CHL, which then you can either go to the CHL, NCAA, whatever it is, to get you ready for the pros. Like you get selected at a certain age to go do this. But it always feels to me like, especially when you take a look at some of the other, like the gap between international players and Americans in basketball right now is that a lot of these guys, like they didn't play basketball 24/7 when they were 6 years old. They just kind of played sports and got good at sports. And then they focused when they got a little bit older on basketball. So like I think deep diving a single sport at like 9 years old is like the worst thing you can do. You're going to get certain people who come out of that. Like Tiger Woods, Serena, Sidney Crosby was one of these people. You're going to have outliers who are just always going to be good, regardless of what you did. It's just that's the training that they went through to do it. I feel like it hurts most people, and it burns them out of the sport that they don't like it anymore.
All the research agrees with you. Like all the findings now are like, yeah, you basically you want your kid to more or less be playing everything. Like you want them golfing, you want them playing basketball, you want them playing football, you want them developing like spatial reasoning and like agility. Like if you want your kid to be, even if you want them to be a specialist, even if you want him to be, the best whatever, I don't know, fullback. I don't know, it's a bad poll, but you want them doing everything.
That makes a lot of total sense because you learn different levels, especially if you are such a good athlete that they've identified that you should be doing this one thing. Learning the footwork of other sports, you'd think that would screw you up for your sport, but it might just make you better and more agile and find different ways in order to excel at the sport that you're truly trying to be good at. That it just makes a ton of sense to me. And you see so many, this happens with a lot of like really tall guys in the NBA that you see a lot of these tall guys wash out and you're like, man, you're 7'3". You don't really do much. How didn't you do this for 20 years? And the fact is, they hate basketball. And the only reason they play basketball is because they're so fucking tall. Like, having burnout and hating what you do can contribute to you being kind of shitty at something.
I mean, it's kind of just doesn't even just happen in sports. It just happens with a lot of child prodigies is they just end up hating the thing and then resenting that it's the only thing they're good at and they don't have any interests or hobbies or anything. I mean, they have no personality outside of the thing that they're good at.
So fill me in. Well, how's dad life going? What's the baby now? 6 months?
3 months.
Whoa.
It's great, man. Yeah. I don't look, having one kid feels pretty optimal. It's like a really nice balance of your life has purpose and meaning, and you also are not just basically like a slave of keeping other human beings alive, like because he sleeps, he there's not another living being that needs your attention to keep it alive 24/7. So it's pretty elite. I can see down the road of like what having a baby and a toddler and a 6-year-old would be like, and just be like, fuck, man, I don't know. It feels insane. But yeah, it's like, I would say if you're on the fence, my review for me, great experience, would recommend. I mean, obviously, so a lot of the stuff is terrifying. He got sick when he was like 3 weeks old, and we had to go to the hospital, and like that was like a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, very, very positive review. I love it.
It's funny to go from like, because we had our first 16 months apart, and just the absolute focus we had on the first kid,
On
like,
the first one.
like watching the video at night to make sure that the baby's still breathing, like all that sort of thing. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing whatsoever. Even you talking about bringing, I mean, the baby had to go to the hospital, but you'll get to a point like one of the first times where like if the baby is running a little bit of a fever, it's like, do we go to emergency? Like we don't know what's going on.
Right.
And just you have all of this anxiety because you don't know what you're really supposed to be doing. And then by the time the second one comes, you're like, hey, they're fine.
Well, I mean, frankly, I probably was more in the category of he'll be fine, but his doctor said he had like a little skin infection, and if it was viral, it would have been like really
Terrible.
bad. And
yeah,
just like really, really bad, but it was a bacteria thing, so he ended up being fine.
But
yes.
there is that like you don't know what you're doing, so you think about like worst case scenario for a lot of things when there's no reason to really think that way. But I think that's first time parents, especially at the beginning, all of the time. At least just from talking to people that I've known, like when they've gone through it. But your baby's still at the baked potato stage, though. Like it's just kind of wrapped up, not doing much, sleeps throughout the course of the day. Like wait till you get to like 9 months to a year, they start like waddling around and crawling around. Different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure I'm probably going to be like, let's send this kid back to where he came from at some point, you know? Like I don't expect it to be, I don't expect my answer to always be like, oh dude, being a dad, best thing ever. And like I think you can be a little bit too, like in a way, loving being a parent so much is actually you just being wrapped up in yourself. It's like extended narcissism. Like I'm doing my duty as a citizen of the earth to have children and extend, like you don't need to go so crazy about like, oh my God, the art of being a dad. But like it's cool, man. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah, I like being a dad too, but I see what you're saying with that. I think this happens to moms a lot more than dads, that their entire identity becomes being a mom. That's not really where you want to be going.
Yes. Yeah. I would just say like, go with God, whoever listening to this you are. I love my kid. It's cool being a dad. I don't think I would ever want to define myself by being a dad. Like I think I'm my own person existing existentially outside of that.
Well, it's, again, this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning. Is like, how do you see someone? Like, if your only identifiable trait, like your entire life, I'm not saying that your life shouldn't be like about your kids, but if that's like the only thing that I know about you, it's like, I love being a dad. I'm the best dad in the world. It's like, what else do you do? Like this,
What
did you do before you became a dad? Like, was this it? Like you were an empty vessel only to become a father, and this is all I get to know about you. Like, I would find that really weird.
And I think also I'm just projecting what life is going to be like when my kid or kids are a little bit more autonomous. It's like, what? They just want to think of me as a big block of nothing who just is their dad. They don't want to they don't want a dad that like does stuff and has talents and has passions and has interests. Like that seems lame, you know? Like who
I
wants that as
agree.
their
And
dad?
don't worry, once your kids develop the ability to talk, about 6 months after that, they might tell you to fuck off one day, and you're like, where did that come from? Oh, I heard
Yeah.
it at school. Like, oh, great.
Shout out to him. Like whatever. Like learn, do what you got to do. Well, but yeah, I have obviously observed this phenomenon a lot where people have kids and they just like kind of lose their like because it's you're just tired, man. You just don't want to do anything, and it's a lot easier to just not do anything. And I think that kind of disserves everybody.
It is, and you do have to actively go out of your way. Well, there becomes like a big split I found between it's almost like when people start getting married, there becomes a split in any sort of friend group between the people that are married and the people that
Mhm.
are single. And now, like the older you get, the split starts to become between people who have kids and people who don't have kids. Like the people who previously kind of either got married or got together, if they don't have kids, they now gravitate back towards all the single people because they can go out on a moment's notice on a Friday night most of the time, versus the people who have kids who are like, well, I got to get a sitter. I can't just leave my house. So those people, like your group tends to get fractured in that way, where the people with kids tend to do more with each other because they can bring kids over to us, like to someone's house. They need to plan everything out 3 weeks in advance in order to go out for dinner for 4 hours, just to make sure that you have coverage on that end. And I find that it's such an odd dynamic the older that you get, that you really do need to go out of your way in order to make relationships work outside. And that's what happens to people in this, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, and that's all you know about me, because that's all. Maybe everyone's good with that. No, it's like me and you who find it weird. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, although I do find it weird that if you're not actively seeking out different things to be able to do, to plan out in advance, you're never going to do anything besides go to work and then be a mom or dad. That's literally
and also like shout out because like I'm basically like the first of my like inner like close friend group to have a child. So like shout out to like I have a couple buddies that I hang out with here in St. Louis, and some of them have been like, this is when you got time to go to the gym. All right, man, I'm meeting you there. We're meeting you there at like we want to get a lift in. I'll leave half an hour early. Like we'll go lift at 5 a.m. or whatever. Like it kind of goes both ways in that.
Well, that's good that your friends are doing that for you. Usually it's incumbent upon the person
upon
who
the
has
person.
the limited amount of time.
Yeah. And like I mean, like my wife has been good about this of just like my wife, like the baby's coming with. Like I want to go have a night with my friends. Like I want to go whatever, have a wine night with my friends, and like baby can come hang out, baby can come sleep, like whatever.
That's interesting. Yeah, but that goes away pretty quickly.
I think honestly, I actually think, and maybe this is more of a Midwestern thing. Maybe this isn't, you're kind of the hoi polloi, like you're in a more, big city elite, but like Midwestern.
Am I being in Halifax, Nova Scotia? Am I? Please tell me about the elite.
All right, Toronto. All right, yeah, you're Nova Scotia now, but you were big city Toronto Mayo for a while. Midwestern women actually just kind of like having a baby around, so it's actually not really that big of a deal.
Like at home or out?
Not like out, like not like my kid is going to like the club, but like my kid is like welcome to come and hang out with my wife and her friends, like in some scenarios.
When they're a baby, sure, but like when the kid is 4, you don't want that.
Oh yeah, no. But then so here's, I mean, Pat, and I don't know, have you taken your oldest son golfing with you yet?
I brought my son golfing with me, riding the cart. I strapped him in where the bag is. He had a great time.
So my plan, and Lord knows when you try and make plans with kids, like I'm obviously understanding that like some things just end up being unrealistic and unattainable. I would love if I can get him to just like being outside. There's a 9-hole golf course very close to our house, and I'm like, dude, it would be amazing if you would just love to come and toddle around with me, and we could just go play 9 holes and dick around, like, and get out of your mom's hair. Like that would be, I would love that. And maybe he'll hate it and it'll just never happen. And like, that just is what it is. But I would love if he loved it.
My son made it through 9 holes, but by hole 5, it was kind of over.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that is about, I have memories of my dad was
And
a big
he's
golfer.
6, so until he turns probably like I might put him in junior golf this summer. I don't know if he's old enough yet. Like just to get him a little bit better so we can go out and hit a shot and be more comfortable around the course. But just energy wise and focus wise, like it's tough to
Yeah.
because golf is long. And like I play a lot of golf during the summer. That is I bank up all my days because I can still work in the afternoon if I go play golf at 7 a.m. That
Yes.
play from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. and then I can go to take a shower, go to the office. That I can film for 4 straight hours if I really need to. I like to try to do it on my days off, but it's manageable, so I can play a ton. But like that's also kind of like my time as well. That is like the 4 hours I get to myself. Like that's it. Like I'm not on my phone. I have like my watch on in case someone is actively trying to reach me. Then I can. But generally speaking, no phone. Nothing else. Now that I don't smoke, like that's gonna be tough for me because the one break I've had since I quit smoking was when we started getting the renovations done.
I can't remember. Are you doing the Zins?
Yeah, I do. We have Zonic up here in Canada, but yeah, occasionally I'll do those. I actually like them a lot because the hardest part, as you probably know, is the excess eating that you do to fill that like oral fixation. There you go. I don't like the gum all that much, although I'm sponsored now by a place called Fume, and it's just air, but it's in like it's really weird. It's shockingly effective. So
it's like a vape, but literally just air.
But just air. So I had a vape for a while at the office because before Paul left, Paul smokes. Jared is my producer now. He smokes, and I was smoking. It's like when you're around people that are smoking all the time, it's really hard to quit smoking because we're like during the show, obviously we're not smoking. Oh, we have 10 minutes. Well, this like file transfers over here. What are we going to do? Oh, it's back-to-back cigs, one off for another. So I bought a vape for the office. And when they would go out for cigs, I would hit the vape and then be able to walk back inside kind of thing. But I was like, now I'm smoking a vape way too much, even if it is only at the office. So that's when I switched to the Fume, and that's been working out really well. But occasionally if I'm out drinking with friends, which is few and far between at this point, like I'll hit a vape off someone. But when we started the renovation, we had to get stuff all done in the basement. So I had my golf clubs. And I brought my golf clubs from like the storage room on the first floor to downstairs. And I opened, I was like, what the hell is in here? I found like one of my sweaters that I haven't been able to find for ages. I found a house key that I thought I had lost. And I found like 10 cigarettes in a cigarette package and basically chain smoked all 10.
That's how it goes. Yeah. So I haven't had a cigarette in a long time, but I basically would just say like I have no plans of ever quitting chewing nicotine gum ever in my life.
But could you translate over to regular gum? Would you find
I'm sure I could.
You should.
Sure I could.
You should.
I don't want to.
Okay, that's fair.
I enjoy the focus. I enjoy the vasoconstriction. I'm I've been using nicotine products of various kinds for a long time. It's very, so it absolutely kicks your ass to not be doing it. But yes, the when you're not doing it, the eating, my God, quitting smoking. If you're not on gum or you're not doing Zins or you're not vaping, my God, you will just you couldn't eat enough to not be hungry.
It's shocking. And I forgot how much of an appetite suppressant that it has been for me for 20 years because now I'm just sitting there at night. And like there was a bad month, let's say. I was basically like a big bag of Doritos, like give them to me, gone. What else is next? And then I was like, okay, I'll stop doing this. This is a bit much. So I've tried to figure out within myself, what can I eat at nighttime? Because I was never a night eater. I would just go smoke cigs. Like every once an hour, just go downstairs, smoke a dart, and not hungry. We're good to go here. But now
can I give you my night hack? You go first.
I've switched to carrots, blueberries, and like cheese and crackers a little bit. Not too many of the crackers because I don't want to like get that many carbs in my system before I go to bed. But carrots have been a lifesaver.
I've never done carrots. Blueberries for sure. Frozen blueberries, harder to chew, right? So you're actually not eating as fast. You can eat a pound of strawberries for 90 calories. Don't know if you like strawberries.
I do.
I'll give you.
I'm not so like, yes, the calorie stuff is important to me, but as long as like, because I've started buying these like little packs of like chicken. I think that they're like 100 calories per. I think that they're like 25 grams of protein. Like I don't mind if like as a part of my snack, I just dump one of those out and just kind of snack on that because that actually makes me full at the same time. And I don't think that eating 100 calories of chicken is all that bad of a thing, even at nighttime.
No, I mean, I don't eat within 3 hours before bed, but I'm neurotic about this stuff. I'm neurotic about it when things are going well. Oh, that's another thing. If you don't lock in when you have a kid, if you just kind of let things go, I can imagine it being very easy to let go of the rope and just eat whatever.
Yeah, I was good about that both times. I started for the first two that I started really putting not like a strict diet, but really mapping out when I was going to eat, what I was going to eat, planning it out ahead. Yes, yeah, you got it on the go. That makes a ton of sense. I did that about 6 weeks before the baby was due to be born, just so I could hit the ground running. That your life becomes.
So I let the rope go before he was born. I let the rope go before, and it's taken me until about now to get it all back to like get to closer to fighting weight.
And for me now, I haven't been doing it as much now, but I completely train differently. I eat differently than I did 7 years ago. Like it's a big gap in between kids. I completely forget what having a newborn is actually like at this point. Just it's been so long. We never got out of the newborn phase to begin with. Like we had a kid and then 16 months later, we had another kid. It just extended that period of time, 16 months of the first infant that we had because hell, I don't know if our oldest was even maybe just briefly talking by the time that the second one was born. Now we've been out of that. Like they're in sports, they're in school, they read, they talk, they do whatever. They can do math at this point. And now we're having a little baby again. And I know this is common, but I didn't have siblings growing up. So like I have no reference point. I was the youngest person in my family until I started having kids. Like it's kind of stopped at me. Then there was nothing after me. So the whole baby experience the first time through was just like shocking to me. I had no conception of it whatsoever. And I feel like I've almost been reset to that level now because I don't really remember. I don't remember anything, man. It is horrible how bad my memory is for things that have actually happened to me and what I'm supposed to know. Yet I can recall what happened at the 2011 St. Jude Classic, the final shots of the final round with Robert Garrigus versus Harrison Frazier and Lee Westwood, like it was yesterday. There's something wrong with my brain, I think.
I actually think that's just kind of something with people in our line of work because same deal. Like I'll just forget stuff in my real life all the time, but I'm like, oh, well, don't you remember Antoine Smith, that guy who scored like 6 straight 50-yard touchdowns in the Atlanta Falcons on like 4 carries a game? Yeah, it's just I think it's just something about people in our genre, maybe a little bit of mental illness.
But it's not so much that I forget things that someone has told me or things that I'm supposed to do in my day-to-day life. I physically don't remember things that have happened to me in my past. Either I've suppressed them or you can only have so much information in your brain and it's gone. I was hanging out with my buddies from high school the other day. They were like, yeah, remember like when this happened? I was like, no. But like you were this happened to you and like it was crazy. It's like I don't remember that at all. Maybe it was like a decade of just like boozing all the time and going out partying and just that's gone from my memory.
Let me well I'll leave you with this. This is my all-time favorite. If I was going to eat something at night, I had to have it. I like something sweet. Sugar-free chocolate pudding, fat-free Fairlife, and a scoop of chocolate-flavored protein. All mixed up, huge bowl. You can eat so much that your stomach will be completely full of sugar-free chocolate pudding for about, give or take, 200 to 250 calories, and it will be almost all like that'll be like 35 grams of protein.
That sounds great. Maybe the next day I can wake up to my Buns of Steel workout and watch some Jane Fonda too. What the fuck is that?
It's so good. It's so because I don't eat ice cream or anything, and it's phenomenal.
One thing you need to watch out for, I brought it up to you before. I was talking to Pete about it when we were in Kansas City as well, that when the kids get older and you do, because you might be the type of person like, I would never give my kid McDonald's. Well, you know what? Kids love fucking McDonald's. And
kids love McDonald's.
And it's easy a lot of the time. You know what they hate doing? Finishing all their McDonald's. Then all of a sudden, well, you start gaining weight. You're like, man, there's nothing really different in my diet. It's like, oh yeah, I like dummied half this like medium fries and 3 nuggets because it was just sitting there on the table and it looked delicious. That shit sneaks up on you.
Yes. Yeah. That much. I mean, every friend I've had who has had kids has warned me of like the leftover chicken nuggets, leftover macaroni and cheese problem.
The other part, I mean, the stuff that you're eating at nighttime, I guess my version of that would be I have like Greek yogurt. I take a scoop of protein powder, chuck it in, and that's where I use the blueberries, the strawberries, the
Yeah,
raspberries, and just
same
like
same
same
concept.
sort of deal, right? Yeah, and
I
it
just
fills
I
you up.
just I like the pudding a little bit better than the Greek yogurt. It's the same though. Like if I mean just in general, I got to be like really really hungry to eat after like 5 or 6.
After
But
5 or 6, wow, I don't even eat dinner until like 7:30.
dude, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, so I
Yeah,
go
so
to
do
bed
I.
pretty early. Well,
When do you first eat during the day? Because that's something I like. 'Cause
like
I know
noon.
that there are people that like intermittent fasting and stuff like that. I can't do that. Like I get so hungry in the morning. Like I need food to get me going throughout the course of the day. It's not like I have a huge breakfast, but I'll have a slice of sourdough, some fruit, and 3 eggs, and just
No,
go.
I do the intermittent fasting thing when I'm locked in. I don't eat till 11 most of the time. 11
Really?
or 12. Yeah.
And you find you have energy in the morning.
Caffeine and nicotine. They're all
See, but I've given most of that up. Should I just like be
I
doing like? Should I just be doing like rails of cocaine when I
well
wake
cuz
up? I'll have all the energy in the world.
well I go lift pretty heavy in the morning, so I have pre-workout and creatine. Well, do you take creatine?
No,
Creatine could
I don't take pre-workout or creatine.
Okay, so creatine, I would guess if you started taking like 8, 9, 10 grams of creatine in the morning, you wouldn't even have to do it with the pre-workout, just the creatine, huge glass of water. I would guess that you would find yourself not as hungry, feeling better, feeling more alert early in the morning. And not,
But I
I'm not
get
even, I
that.
would guess, I
But
would guarantee.
but I also get that from eating real food.
Well, yeah, and if you're not trying to lose weight, then like who cares? But I mean,
But
creatine is kind of a miracle drug.
hold on. Are you saying that the only way you can lose weight is by intermittent fasting?
No, 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 not at all. In fact, the research basically says the only benefit from intermittent fasting is that you skip a meal. But that I like skipping the meal so that when I first eat, I can have eggs, egg whites, some a little bit of meat, a Greek yogurt, an apple. Like I can have like 600 calories, and I can be like stuffed. Like I can be like, wow, like I do not need to eat again until dinner.
It's funny. I've tried all of this stuff out over the past 10 years, like just
Sure.
lifting heavy, the intermittent fasting, keto, whatever it might be. And I found that like now, like I'm in a good place. I feel good. I eat pretty healthy most of the time, but I'm not obsessive about it. I haven't tracked a calorie in fucking a year. And I'm like in better shape now than I've ever been because I just eat when I get hungry.
Yeah, and like I mean, I would if whatever you're doing is working for you. Like you, I've done everything. I've gotten super fat. I've gotten really lean. I'm like in between right now. But I just like right now, whatever I'm doing is I mean, same as you. Like I'm on a very good trend right now. And I actually kind of like the mental acuity of fasting. Some people don't like it. Some people like you just
But
feel sluggish or tired.
but I feel like for me, what it turned into was exactly what we talked about at the top of the show. It's almost like monetizing all of your hobbies or doing this. Like once eating became something I actively had to pay attention to, and it took up like parts of my day to track what I was doing, to make sure I was eating at this time and do that. Like then it just became a hassle again. Like then I didn't want to do it anymore.
It's why most days I basically eat the same thing. So like I don't have to think about it. When I go into my calorie tracking app, it says add yesterday's breakfast or add yesterday's lunch. It's one button. I click it, boom, done, tracked. I don't have to think of like
But
because it
if you know
reduces that
that you're
friction.
eating the same thing all of the time, why do you even need to track it?
Because then when I don't track it, that is when I start to be like, well, all right. I'll have a spoonful of peanut butter. I'll have an Oreo. I'll have a
But
whatever.
you know what? I've come to the conclusion: have the fucking Oreo, man. You're fine.
Depends on your goals. Right now,
What's your goal? Like what is your fitness goal?
Right now, I'm just trying to get like really lean. I
Why?
want to be
Why are you trying to get really lean? I'm just curious.
kind of just to show that I can do it.
Why? What is the
Because
point?
I've kind of done everything else. So I have gotten to like all like the powerlifting marks that I wanted to get to. I ran a half marathon last year. I guess I haven't broken 80 in golf, but like a lot of like my physical goals or like hobby goals. I filmed a whole skateboarding part with my buddies. Like I've done everything, but I have not gotten like diced while also being big. I've been really lean before, but I've never been really muscular while being lean before.
I mean, there's always a chance that you don't have the genetics for that. That's something that I've tried to, I've been through that cycle as well. Be like, hey, well, I want to look like shredded with my shirt off. It just, I look a certain way with my shirt off. Like I've been more lean over time, but I'm just never going to look shredded like you would see people on like, using AI on Instagram shredded. Like it just,
well,
some people have it,
I
some
won't
people
know,
don't.
right? I won't know. I won't know unless I try.
I feel like you would know though.
I mean, I have naturally pretty big traps for my size, so that helps when I get lean. But I have no idea about abs. I have no idea. We'll find out.
And a lot of it too, because you mentioned egg whites, because I always see that. And like this, egg whites were really the turning point in me caring about this stuff and not caring about this. They're like, well, because I do eat 3 eggs every morning, by and large, depending on what I'm doing. But most mornings, I'll have 3 eggs as the centerpiece of my meal. And someone had made mention to me, it's like, yeah, that's a lot of calories. That's like 250 calories, which is fucking nothing for one thing.
Right.
And it's like, but you can get so much more protein and fewer calories if you just use egg whites. And you can use 2 eggs and a bunch of egg whites. It's like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to do that. So I started doing that. Like there's like 100 grams of
egg whites are disgusting.
They're fucking gross.
They're horrible.
Like I started eating and I was like, this isn't worth it. Like this, I do not enjoy eating this. This is horrible. Who likes this?
So part of it is also like I enjoy, what is even the right way to explain this? Like the work itself becomes the reward. I get more of a dopamine release from knowing that I'm eating something that is just like super fucking good for me. Like almost all protein, very little fats, very little carbohydrates. Like when I eat that,
but don't you need carbs? Like I need carbs to function throughout the course of the day.
Yeah, I eat carbohydrate. I eat about, I mean, I can look, but I eat, so I eat about 85 to 115 grams of carbohydrates a day, which is a lot.
Is it? I have no idea.
It is if you're trying to lose weight.
How many handful? Listen, I'm no stranger to like. We got some like my wife has these like lightly salted Lay's around. She just leaves the bag out. Like I'm no stranger to a few hands in there. I'm losing weight. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, like
if you're active, you can basically eat whatever you want.
Yeah, like a cup of rice is like 50 grams of carbs.
Oh, I love a cup of cooked rice.
rice.
I eat a lot of rice. Big rice.
A lot of rice too. I eat a lot of rice too because it is. If you are active, I mean, it's basically sugar to your body. Like it turns into energy immediately. It's very, very easy for your body to process.
See, there you go. I just feel like we always kind of make fun of the manosphere and like the weird incels who get drawn into the hating women aspect of the internet, like the podcast aimed at them. But I do feel like some of these health ones are like, I don't know. There's something insidious about this entire thing.
Oh, I completely agree. I've pretty much tuned out of everything, of all the biohacking and everything. I was really interested in it for a while. I'll listen to a Huberman Lab if it's a topic I like or a guest I know of who I think is intelligent, but I'm pretty much out on all. I really, Sam Sulek is the Sam Sulek and Jeff Nippert are the ones that I still watch. They're on YouTube.
What do they talk about?
Lifting weights and how to do it optimally. And I don't know,
that's actually what they talk about the entire time. And you find that interesting?
I do. Yeah. Cause I get, I mean, and I'm sure you relate to this as well, where when I get into something, I get like beyond
really into
obsessed.
It.
Yeah. I'm like obsessed. Yeah.
I can see that. It just, that's not where my area of being interested. Like I like working out. I'll look into how to work out optimally for me. And then I just kind of go with that for a while until I feel like I need to change something up and like, hey, here's a new exercise. Here's a better way to do this exercise. But I really don't need to hear like 2 bros talk about it for fucking 90 minutes. But people are also listening to this for the entire time through too. So sometimes you have no idea what
I think like. I think you got to just call it a spade. Like there's, just people like what they like. People, I enjoy the parasocial relationship part of it. Like,
but you like the interaction that happens on this on that show that like
no. So they're both like Sam Sulek. I mean, this is really inside baseball, but he's just one guy, and it's literally every day he does a video of him driving to the gym, talking to the camera in his car. He films his lift.
Wait, he's filming while he's driving?
He just has his camera on a tripod in the car.
But that seems unsafe.
He has not gotten in an accident yet, and it's been going for a while, but you never know. I wouldn't say it's
If no one's ever gotten into an accident, of course they're good drivers, right? Like, it can only be safe. Whenever something bad doesn't happen, safe is the eventual outcome.
I wouldn't do it, but it's just that's his deal. It's always been the deal since like the first video he did.
That is a good concept. I will give him that.
It's a cool concept. Unique. Yeah, it's a cool concept. And then he drives home from the gym and he's like, yeah, it was a good lift. Gonna go home and eat some protein now. And like, that is what it is. Not for everyone. Yeah, he's insanely popular. Like, he's like, I would say
see how that niche would be insanely popular. Listen, I just started a new show today as we're talking, because the show will come out tomorrow on my feed. I got Emerson and Cam. I want you to get on it. I talked to Pete. He's going to be on it. I don't know what the actual concept of the show is, but I'm getting my producer to come up with like 10 stories, and he's just going to tell us the topics, and then we're going to talk about it. And it could be anything.
Let me know when you need me.
Yeah, like it was not every show is going to be off the rails as the one I did with Emerson and Cam today, but it was pretty off the rails. Quick.
I like the concept of like the surprise topic in general. It's cool.
But the important part I feel like in constructing that show is finding guests who aren't dry, because that's always the problem that I suffer from content wise during this part of the year, is that most of like during football season, I have a very good mix of like kind of serious to really goofy content. And people like the really goofy content, but they wouldn't want to see really goofy content every single day. There needs to be some sort of mix. But when I get into golf season, there's less of that, mainly because Cust isn't really around during golf season and Cam isn't really around during golf season. It's really just me and Jeff carrying the crazy person load, where everyone else is like kind of sane and normal. This is a way to inject, in my mind, more of that fun that people like about my show back into the show at least once a week or 1.5 times a week if you put me and Jeff in the golf show. But if you don't like golf, you're probably not going to listen to it. This is something that should last. It's not topical by any means. And I'm hoping that it becomes a success, because I really would just like to have a Thursday show during golf season, because people don't really want to hear about golf while golf is going on. I'll tell you that.
No, they don't. So I like that. I like that idea a good bit.
And there's only so many, like I've recorded, me and Harditz did 2 shows together that I have in the bank about running back rankings and wide receiver rankings for next year. It's like, all right, like they were good shows. They're super informative, but even both of us looking at each other before the show being like, man, I can't believe we're doing this in fucking February.
Oh, see, I completely disagree, but I'm also a disgusting sick freak who enjoys fantasy football in February.
You know what I did enjoy this year was the PGA best ball drafts. I really got into those this year. Although I ended up drafting 148 teams in the scramble, the $10 contest. And when I got to the last 2, and I was like, I just don't want to fucking do this anymore. I'm done. Oh, I'm over it.
Can't you just auto draft them?
You can, but I felt like there was a big advantage in golf to not doing that. And I don't know. I guess if you were better with the rules of how the rankings work on Underdog and setting caps and players and that kind of thing, if you could really finagle that properly, you could in NFL. I don't think you could in golf. I see. I didn't see a way to do it in golf. And if you did them all by hand, there was a huge advantage to, like, I had all my guys basically ranked in tiers of types of players that I want. So I wanted one guy from this tier and one guy from that tier and one guy from that tier. And unless you did them by hand, it was never going to draft it that way. And right now it's I mean, we'll see how it goes throughout the course of the season. There's still 2 events left, but of my 148 teams right now, I believe 47 of them are through, which is got to be one of the higher rates of anyone.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And a lot of it too is like, I'm going to come back in some of these that are in second and third, because I went and looked at the standings ahead of me, that I geared so much of my drafts by hand to drafting for guys playing at the Cognizant next week, which is the final event. And most people have like 1 or 0 people in that event, and I have 6. So I'm going to catch up like 200, 300 points on people and knock them out. And you just couldn't do that if you didn't hand draft. Like I auto drafted in my contest, the Pat Mayo Experience 20 Max one, and I have like 1 team through. And I might not even get that, because all my teams aren't constructed in the way that I constructed all of my other teams in the big one.
The Clankers didn't have a chance, Pat.
It's no good. Too much Mac Hughes.
Too much.
I got a lot of Pearson Cootie, which is good.
I hate that guy's name. I've been seeing him be owned more than he should. The projections say he should every week. And I wondered whose fault it was. And like, realized very quickly it was your fault.
Yes, and Cootie, my main man. I actually spoke with Blickle a ton about golf. Golf projections are stupid and no one should use them, is my take. And he, as someone who does projections, kind of agreed because they don't actually tell you anything.
So I mean, everything in DFS now is just a combinatorial ownership game, and that's all the sims are telling you anyway. So yeah, I agree.
Sure, but at least in other sports, the projections will occasionally land near how many points the people actually score. That never happens in golf. It's either wildly above or wildly below.
Yeah, same thing in baseball too.
Yeah, like I just don't get what they're good for.
Yeah. I got to head out because I got a show scheduled to start in 2 minutes. So everyone, make sure to, wherever you're engaging with this video, either like it or do whatever you need to do. Thank you very much for listening and watching. And Pat will be back with you tomorrow, and I'll be back with you guys next week.
Experience! Experience!